Extension 341, please. Extension 341, please. Oh! Oh! What? No, I was just groaning. Look, would you please give me that extension? Thank you very much. Oh. Oh. Hello, Janice. It's Miles Coulter. Listen, I've overslept. Oh. Oh. What? Yes, I'm very ill, but I wouldn't qualify for a medical certificate. So listen, if Dixon comes round asking for me, for heaven's sake, stall him. Well, for a start off, don't tell him I'm still in my pajamas, smashed with alcohol. Tell him you saw me first thing, but I dashed out. On business. And don't make it sound as though I was going to put a bet on. What? No, it was my birthday, don't you remember? But the whole thing went on much longer than I expected because the wife of one of my guests gave birth to a daughter. No, not here, at the hospital. Blimey! I'd better ring him up in case he overslept. What? No, you see, he forgot to give the nurse my telephone number, so by the time he rang the hospital, his baby was born and his wife was on sedatives. Crikey, if I don't... What? What? No, listen, if he doesn't get to the hospital at the crack of dawn, I should think his wife will practically throw the baby out. Listen, I'm sorry, I've got to go, bye. Oh, George. I hope you don't answer, George. I hope you don't answer. Oh, good man.
Miles?
It's time to get up, George.
What are you doing in my bedroom?
It's not your bedroom, it's my sitting room. It's after 10. My alarm clock didn't go off.
Don't shout, Miles.
What? When it's urgent, it's after 10. You're supposed to be at the...
All right, don't panic. Now listen, just ring my office, will you? Get in touch with Arthur or Dennis and tell them to say that they've seen me, but I dashed out. The number's home and free.
But they won't expect you at the office, will they?
Well, if it's after 10, of course they will.
Today?
Why, is it Saturday?
George, have you forgotten what happened last night? I'm a father! And I'm late! Again!
Good grief, Miles! I promised them I'd be at the hospital on the dot of 9!
Well, I agree it's unfortunate, but she's not likely to bawl you out in front of a newborn baby, is she?
It isn't. That is the principle of the thing. My first child's been in this world for 12 hours and I haven't seen it yet because I've been too whistled.
Well, you'll just have to say so for the next one, won't you?
Yeah, what shall I tell her, though?
Well, you can try the truth.
Are you mad?
Well, it's harder to tell, but they can't catch you out in it. Look, I tell you what, I'll telephone and say it was my fault.
What? Don't you dare. Miles got in touch with me before you did. I can hear that being echoed down the years. Look, what's the matter with this tie? Look, if I don't go to the hospital with a good excuse for being late this morning, I might just as well look at the child and then start discussing divorce proceedings. So, look, leave it on now. But before you do that, clean your teeth. What? The fumes. You don't want to gas the baby. Oh, yeah, well, I haven't got a toothbrush. Well, squeeze the toothpaste onto your finger and... Ooh. You better have a shave as well. Yeah. With all the girlfriends you've got, you must be good at thinking up excuses. Well, now, is it all right about last night? What do you mean? Well, you're not getting there. Well, it's not all right when it's the truth. I mean, I did forget to leave your number with a nurse. Well, I've just taken her in. It's feasible, but I told her I was going to your party, and if I tell her I overslept, she'll guess why. So it's out. That's right out. I've got to have a story. Well, if they're that worried about you, why didn't they ring you up here? Because they don't know your number, remember? I rang them, didn't I? Look, don't keep on asking me questions. I've got enough of an inquisition to go through when I get to that hospital. Well, you look a bit crumpled. I've just spent the night on your sofa. Of course I'm crumpled. Yeah, well, I was just thinking you could say you'd been run over. Run over? Well, I don't mean the wheels actually passed over your body. I mean you were knocked down and you were taken to the hospital. The hospital I'd have been taken to is the one I'm supposed to be at. Oh, look, can you think of something a little less far-fetched? Oh, I believe in the principle, the bigger the lie, the bigger the rocket when they tumble you. Now, a little less far-fetched, please.
All right, well, somebody else was knocked down. I know, an old lady, and you helped her.
How do you get your mind off street accidents?
But it's so good for your image, George. I mean, you cradling her head in the gutter, you probably went with her in the ambulance to the... Ah.
Exactly. You've got me to that hospital again on the stroke of 9. I want a story that'll keep me away from the blousy thing till 10:30. Haven't you got a quieter razor?
Honestly, George, if you just told her the truth...
What? That I spent the night with you?
I'm a man. I mean, it's allowed.
You're a great help, aren't you? I'm going to try and think up something myself.
Well, honestly, George, if you arrive with an armful of flowers, how could she possibly lamb into you?
I forgot about the flowers.
Buy her a dirty, great big bunch. It's bound to work, the Oracle. I promise you, it's got me out of more girlfriend troubles than you've had hot dinners.
Yeah, flowers, yes, okay.
And say something nice about the baby, that'll help.
Well, I wasn't going to go in and knock it.
Good luck, man.
Thanks, Miles.
All right, I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming.
How many flowers will I get for 5 and threepence? You see, I gave her the housekeeping yesterday, and we had to take a taxi to the hospital. How much have you got?
Well, I'm not sure that I can help George.
What do you mean? You suggested the flowers?
Well, I didn't think I was going to have to pay for them.
I've got to have the flowers. They're my main line of defense.
Well, I had to buy all that extra booze last night to celebrate the happy event.
Happy? What's that noise? It's everywhere. Oh. Well, how much have you got?
3 and 4.
That's hardly enough for a petal.
Well, look, I tell you what, why don't you say you'd order the flowers if you can't understand why they haven't arrived?
Oh, yes.
And then go to the florist and then go to the bank.
Yes, it still means I go into that room naked, though, doesn't it? A sitting target. Oh, well, I better get along.
I'm sorry, George, I really am.
Thanks, Miles.
Look, give me a ring, won't you, when you've...
If I survive.
And what the baby looks like?
Pretty disgusted, I should think, wouldn't you? What am I...
All right, I'm coming. Oh. Hello.
Hello, is that Fremantle 5924?
Hello, darling. Did you get home from the party all right?
This is St. Edward's Hospital. I'm calling on behalf of Mrs. George Starling. We've had some difficulty tracing you.
Yes, this is a new flat.
Oh. Well, Mrs. Starling thinks you might possibly know the whereabouts of her husband.
Ah, her husband.
Mr. George Starling.
Yes.
Well?
I beg your pardon?
Can you help us? Yes, I think you better show this to matron, nurse.
Oh, excuse me, is Mrs. Starling still on this floor?
Yes, that's right, in there. Are you Mr. Starling?
Well, better late than never, as they say.
One might say that about the mothers in here, Mr. Starling. Very seldom about the fathers. However, I'm very glad to say that your wife is no longer in an early worried state.
Oh, good.
I was able to contact your friend, Mr. Coldry, and immediately passed on to her what he told me.
Why? What did he tell you?
And then, of course, she was somewhat cheered earlier by a visit from her mother.
Her mother's been?
Yes, at 9 o'clock.
Oh, Lord.
Yours came at 9:30.
My mother?
Yes, with your father. It was through them I was able to contact Mr. Coldry.
Yeah, now, what exactly did Mr. Coldry say? Now, it's very...
Mr. Starling, this may all seem somewhat trivial to you. But you see, when a girl has just become a mother, particularly for the first time, she's not the most rational of creatures. rather inclined to tears, one has to smooth the path a bit. So anything you can do to keep her cheerful will be for the best. Kid gloves, Mr. Starling, that's the order of the day.
Yes, now, could you
now,
just
we
tell me
don't
what...
want any more tears, do we?
No.
I'll bring the baby in immediately. Oh, Mr. Starling, it's a real bonny wee bairn.
Oh, splendid.
Now,
Now, could you tell me
remember,
what...
keep her cheerful.
Yes, but what if he...
Here he is, Mrs. Starling. Better late than never.
Hello, darling. I'm sorry. Oh, Kate, don't.
I'm all right, it's just the way it gets you.
Oh, don't keep it up or it'll get me too.
I'm sorry.
Oh, for heaven's sake, don't apologize to me. Did you have a good time? Was everything... Did everything...
Not too bad. They said it was a quick one. Didn't feel quick. But I thought of you thinking about me and worrying, and I decided you had the worst job.
Did you, darling?
But she's worth it. She's very beautiful. They've all said so. She's got your mouth exactly.
Poor thing. And she's beautiful.
Your parents thought she was the best-looking baby they'd ever seen. Oh, darling, I'm sorry they had to see her first, but they were able to help track down Miles's number.
And the nurse told me. What exactly did
And my
Miles...
mother's seen her too. Did you know that? She brought those flowers. Aren't they lovely? And those are from your parents. And the geraniums from the butcher's. Heaven knows how they... People are so kind. Flowers cost such a lot at this time of year.
Yes, I was just wondering where my flowers were. I went to the... I rather rang the florist, you know.
Did you, darling?
Yeah. Why, didn't Miles tell you?
He said he was sending flowers too. Aren't people kind?
Yes, she is. Sleeping as sound as a top, bless her. Ring if she starts bawling, won't you?
Yes, all right.
Now, you all right?
Yes, thank you.
Right. I told you, keep her cheerful.
Isn't she beautiful, George?
Why, she got blue hands.
Circulation, lots of them do.
Do they?
She'll be all right tomorrow.
Oh, good. Do they all have pointed heads, too?
Yes, some of them.
Ours has.
It doesn't last. Honestly, darling, they go through a lot to get into this
Oh,
world.
yes, of course. And the, face.
What? Oh, the chap look. Yes, that goes too.
Oh, well then, she's beautiful, isn't she?
Do you really think so?
Yes.
Telegram.
Thank you.
Now, are you comfortable?
Yes, thank you.
Well, someone's been busy on the Bush Telegraph.
Both mums, I expect. Uncle Jack and Auntie Hilda. Isn't that sweet of them? Thrilled about the news, well done. Isn't that sweet of them? This is from Granny. Congratulations on the arrival of your firstborn.
Bit formal.
What do you mean?
Well,
Well, people don't send screamingly funny telegrams on this sort of occasion, do you?
no, but there's no need to be starchy.
Well, Uncle Jack's and Auntie Hilda's wasn't starchy.
What, thrilled about the news? Well done. Well, no, not starchy.
We haven't had any from your side of the family yet, not even a starchy one.
Well, here's the first one from my two aunts in Portsmouth, Madge and Betty. Hearty congratulations on addition to Starling's Nest. Funny one, eh? Who's that from?
Oh, a cousin of mine and his wife.
Oh, Robin and Margaret.
Yes.
Two real balls of fire. What do they say?
George, it's very kind of people to send telegrams.
Yeah, I noticed. What do they say?
Congratulations and all love. What's so funny?
Well, not your family's telegrams for a start. Who's that?
Frank and Vera.
Oh, it's my Uncle Frank. He's a real car. He's a practical joker, you know. What's he say? Oh.
Hearty congratulations on successful hatching of newest starling.
Well, it's funnier than any of yours.
Yes, but it's the same joke, isn't it? Hearty congratulations on newest starling. Hearty congratulations on addition to starling's nest. Well, the congratulations are the same too, aren't they? Hearty. Well, who's that from, then?
My grandparents. Hearty congratulations. And love from us old starlings to the new bird.
Oh, my other grandparents. Hearty congratulations, your cup of happiness must be as full as the starling's nest. Oh, yeah. We'll have to get used to that.
Well, does it go on for long?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, oughtn't we to get somebody to do something?
Well, I suppose if she keeps it up.
She's keeping it up.
Yes, you better give her to me.
What? Lift her?
Well, she's not going to climb out by herself. They're very strong, George.
Yes, but I'm not. I mean, I don't know where to...
Well, she's the same shape as anybody else, darling. She bends in the same places. Come on. You're going to be very useful, you are.
Do you think so?
Now I know who to hand it to in the middle of the night, don't I? Aren't I lucky?
But they don't make that noise every night, do they?
Why?
Well, it's not very lovely, is it, the noise?
Oh.
Oh, darling, even you can't say that is lovely.
Last night when she was born and they made her cry, I thought it was the loveliest noise I'd ever heard.
Oh, yes, of course, darling.
I forgot to ask you, would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, yes, thank you. I'd love one. I had to feed her at crack of dawn.
Mr. Starling?
Oh, thank you very much.
Two, then.
Any chance of a biscuit?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Biscuit so soon after breakfast?
Darling, when Miles rang...
Are you sure you didn't mind she was a girl?
What?
Well, I was so afraid you'd be disappointed.
Oh, don't be silly.
Well, you know, last night when you said you didn't care, I thought you were just saying that.
No.
You were so keen on a boy before.
Yeah, but I changed, Mama. I don't mind, darling, honestly.
Honestly? Daddy doesn't mind.
Blimey.
What?
Oh, nothing. I've never been called Daddy before.
How'd you feel?
Bit old.
Yes, you look a bit old this morning.
Do I?
It's probably the worry.
What exactly did Miles
Still
say?
trying to get used to being mummy. Mum said it didn't take long. Oh, by the way, did Sister Bulmer tell you?
What about Miles?
No, Mum. When she left, Mum told her that the baby looked exactly like her as a child.
Oh?
Yes, she told Sister Bulmer she's got a photo to prove it.
Did they have photographs in those days? Oh, no, she really is very beautiful, though, isn't she?
Do you recognise your mouth?
Not really, no.
Don't you?
No.
Oh, she's all puckered up, that's why.
Oh,
Can't see my eyes either.
because they're shut. So all we're really left with is Richard Dimpleby's nose.
Look, there's her label.
She's got a label. Starling, girl. Poor soul.
Right.
No name.
Oh, no, I was trying to think last night. You know, we decided not to choose a name till we knew what sex. Well, last night I thought of one.
Oh?
I thought of Cecilia.
Did you?
Don't you like it?
Not mad, no. It can be shortened, you know. Sissy. I don't fancy Sissy Starling, do you?
No, well, that wasn't the only one. I thought of Jane. You can't shorten Jane.
That you can lengthen it. Janie.
Well, you don't like Janie either.
Not mad, no.
Well, how about Helen?
Helen.
Well, it can't be shortened and it can't be lengthened.
No. It's your mother's name, isn't it?
What about it?
Nothing.
Now, come on, you weren't too keen when I said the baby looked like her.
Oh, nonsense.
You weren't?
Well, it's hardly the summit of a father's ambition, is it, to have a baby that's a dead ringer of his mother-in-law?
No, but if it happens, it's nobody's fault, is it?
No, it's just bad luck.
Look, if you've got something against my mother...
Of course I haven't. I just don't fancy bending over her cot and kissing her goodnight.
Well, at least you managed to come and see the baby before the father. Quite frankly, George, I don't think you're in any position to throw stones today.
Now, don't get upset. You know what happens when you...
Are you feeling all right, Mrs. Starling?
Yes, thank you.
You know, I'm not sure that you haven't had too many visitors.
No.
Don't overdo it, then.
No.
Well, the cup that cheers.
Thank you.
Biscuit?
Thank you. Will you think of a name, then?
What?
If you don't like any of my ideas.
Of course I like your
Now,
idea.
come on, you do some thinking for a change.
Okay, well, as a matter of fact, I quite like Patricia and Joanna.
Well, those can both be shortened. Pat and Joe.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, what was that foreign-sounding name I like? In that play, do you remember what?
Nicola?
That's it, Nicola.
Nicky.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's no hurry. We'll buy one of those books. They give millions of names.
George,
What's the matter?
do you really not mind her being a girl?
Of course not. Why?
Pat, Joe, Nicky, they're all boys' names.
Nonsense.
Well, aren't they?
Well, I wasn't thinking.
No, I know, it was subconscious.
Look, I told you I didn't mind and I meant it.
You're disappointing.
I promise you.
I wish you'd be honest with me.
I have.
It isn't as if we can do anything about it now.
I don't want to do anything about it. I think he's wonderful. She's wonderful. Look, I like lots of other names. Christina, that's a nice name.
Chris.
Samantha.
George.
Helen. I do like Helen. I do like Helen. Now, you're quite right. It can't be shortened and it can't be lengthened. And it isn't the boy's name, and I don't mind if it's your mother's name. I mean, I'm glad it's your mother's name. I'm glad. Hello, Helen. Little baby Helen. Say hello to... Say hello to Mummy, Helen. Well, she knows who's boss, doesn't she? Oh, we're not going to have any trouble with her. Not with my discipline.
All right, Mr. Barrett.
What? I'm sorry, darling. I don't mean to keep on upsetting you.
No, I know.
Oh, but old Flora MacDonald doesn't. She thinks I'm beating you up in here. Honestly, every time she comes in, you're sobbing your heart out.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
More flowers.
Thank you.
You haven't touched your tea.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's not very good, is it? I bring my own in a flask. But of course I haven't enough to go round all the patients.
Very kind of you to think of us. Allow me.
Now, from Miles.
Oh?
Darling,
Yes?
what did happen
When?
this morning?
What? I thought you knew.
Knew what?
Well, why, I was late this morning.
No.
But Miles spoke to the nurse. She said it cheered you up.
Yes.
Well, what did he say?
He said you were on your way with a complete explanation.